And everyone, welcome back to day 3 of Embrace the Journey, our third and final day. And I'm just so honored that you have taken this time this week to come and learn a little bit more about these practices of fertility yoga and meditation and breath work. And I think as hopefully you're starting to see, like there's so much to this practice that we can use to help us along our journeys. And I just love being able to share this with you because it's something that it took me years through my journey to learn, and I wish I had known about them sooner. So it is my honor to be able to share them all with you. And today we are going to take things a little bit deeper. So day 1 we went through, the principles of fertility yoga and why it's important. Yesterday we spoke a little bit more about cycle syncing and how that really allows us to get in tune with our bodies on this journey, something that is very much taken away from us, I think, throughout this journey of struggling through fertility challenges. And today we're going to go even deeper again. I think I've left the best for last. So I'm going to be talking to you about your nervous system. And honestly, this stuff, when I learned about this stuff, it changed everything for me, literally everything. And I'm not talking about just the fertility stuff. It made every part of my life better. And then I felt pregnant. It was like, it was the cherry on the top. Is that the analogy? And so I think that when you can start to look at what is going on in your body when you are in times of stress and chronic stress and you've been through these traumatic experiences that I think when we're talking about fertility challenges and treatments and loss especially, it is hugely traumatic. And the impact that that has on our bodies and our overall health is enormously underestimated. And there's so much we can do to help ourselves in the meantime. So I am excited to share it with you all today. You can get very sciencey and very nerdy with this stuff. So I'm going to go through, we've got about 10 minutes where we're just going to chat about these things before we get into our practice today. So I want to share with you how stress affects your body and your health, and of course, as a follow on from that, your fertility. What is nervous system regulation? Why is it important? And then we're going to get into today's yoga practice. And I'm going to, as we go through our movements today, I'm going to teach you a little bit more about your nervous system as we go. Because I think the best way to learn is to really put stuff into practice. It's like learning to ride a bike. You could read a book and have someone tell you all day, but until you actually get on the bike and learn, you're not going to integrate it into your body and really feel that difference. So I'm so excited to get you. I say I excited so much, don't I? It is true. All right. So, what is stress? The thing that I think we need to start with, and people are like, huh, when I say this, stress is not an emotion. It is not the same as the emotions that we feel, like joy and sadness and anger and happiness and all of the beautiful broad spectrum of emotions we have. Stress is not one of them. Stress is a physiological response that your body and your brain has to perceived danger. When your brain, your amygdala, senses that there is a threat in your environment, it triggers this cascade of reactions within your physical body. Your adrenal glands start pumping out cortisol and adrenaline and a few other hormones. We tend to notice that the heart starts to beat a little bit more quickly. We breathe quite shallowly. All of these things happen as a response to a perceived threat. Now, you have no control over that. Your brain senses a threat and straight away it goes into fight or flight. There are different levels, of course, but I just want you to know that being stressed doesn't mean you are feeling an emotion of stress. So I think that takes a little bit of, we blame ourselves for so much on this journey. So when you can separate that, it really makes a big difference. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in a minute. Stress also creates physical tension within the body and restricts blood flow. We know how important blood flow and circulation is for a healthy, thriving endocrine system and a healthy menstrual cycle. And when we go into fight or flight, our body says literally we need to run or we need to fight this threat. And the muscles that we need to do that are usually the very big global muscles in our body. So all around our hips, our shoulders, we're getting ready to tense up. So when you are experiencing fight or flight, often and chronically. Chronically is the part that makes the really tip the scales, is, you are in that physically tense state a lot. And that's why we get so tight in our hips and our lower back. And, we add to that the stresses of modern life, like being sat in an office and driving a lot and all of the things that aren't conducive to a really balanced, healthy nervous system. And infertility journey just exacerbates that. Stress also is very, very problematic for interrupting that healthy balance that your menstrual cycle needs. We spoke about this yesterday, especially in that luteal phase. Cortisol is, if you are producing too much of it, it really makes it difficult for your body to produce progesterone. So if you're not producing enough progesterone, you don't ovulate regularly or consistently, and we don't have that healthy luteal phase to support a pregnancy. And the thing that, people say to me all the time, well, people in war zones get pregnant, people in abusive relationships get pregnant. Yes, of course, you can get pregnant when you're stressed. I did that. I did the let's push, let's go, let's use the treatments, let's get pregnant. And I got there, but my life was miserable. And that's the thing that I think is the problem here. So you can stay stressed if you if you want to do it that way, go for it. But it's going to affect your sleep. It's going to affect your digestive health. It's going to affect your ability to concentrate and to focus. It's going to impact your relationships. And we start to notice this cascade of health issues that comes from chronic stress. And it makes your life absolutely miserable. So that is what I want for you. Yes, getting pregnant is, of course, the ultimate goal, but there is so much more to your life, and we want to address all of it. So what is the stress response? So when you're like a normal healthy, okay, let's forget about humans. Let's think about like the gazelle out on the African plains. The gazelle is, just wandering around looking for food, and suddenly she senses that there's a lion about to come and eat her. So threat is detected. Her stress response is activated. She goes into fight or flight. She runs for her life. And lo and behold, this day, she manages to escape the lion. So her brain goes, cool, threat's gone. You might notice they shake themselves out a little bit, they go back to it, and they are good. They're back to eating, they're back to playing with their young, whatever gazelles do. That is a normal and healthy stress response. So you see the threat, you react, the threat is gone, and you go back to regulation. Humans are unfortunately a little bit more complicated. And the thing that starts to get in the way is the trauma response. So, trauma is basically an event, a stress response that was too much or too overwhelming for your body to process, to go through that full cycle. And instead, what happens is that we become hypervigilant. We sense this threat, our stress response gets activated. We don't ever get a rest. So we think that that stress response is still coming and coming and coming. And the problem is our poor brains don't understand the difference between there's a tiger that's going to come and eat me, and I'm terrified I'm going to lose this pregnancy. I'm terrified this next embryo transfer isn't going to work. I'm terrified I'm not going to be pregnant this month because last month it affected my relationship. I had a huge fight with my partner and I couldn't focus at work, and my boss is telling me my work isn't good enough. And we never get a break from the stress that comes with this journey. So we just go around and around and around, and that is problematic. So this cycle has a huge impact on our bodies. So some of the first things that happen are these physiological responses that I mentioned. So it's going to disturb that beautiful balance that our hormones need for a really healthy menstrual cycle. It's going to impact things. When our body goes into fight or flight, your brain says, look, we need to run from or fight this danger. What don't we need in this moment? What can I give up so I can pull energy into fighting or running? So I need to bring as much energy and power and blood flow to my arms, my legs. What don't we need? Okay, well, we don't need to digest our lunch because that's not crucial to survival in this moment. I don't need to fight off a virus. So my immune system is going to shut down momentarily. I don't need to solve a really complex maths equation. So that prefrontal cortex, that thinking part of your brain here, that goes offline. And we see that on scans, on brain scans during the stress response, that goes offline. And your body is always going to prioritize safety and survival over reproduction. So we know that in terms of acute stress, we don't need to reproduce to survive. So that's why your body tends to shut down some of those hormonal systems that create a healthy menstrual cycle. So all of this, like you can probably know already in your own life, yes, it ebbs and flows, but we see menstrual cycles that were once really regular going out the window, and we see sleep disturbances coming, and we notice immune system issues, and we struggle to focus with our friends, and we're so distracted all the time. We're always looking for that, scrolling anything to keep our minds kind of busy, and it is a horrible, horrible place to be in chronic stress. I did have a picture here. I don't know why it's disappeared. How do we come into regulation? So how isn't this like the $1 million question? So that's why we're here. Coming into regulation is incredibly personal, but there are some pretty like cornerstone things that we need in order to do it. Your brain needs consistent and ongoing and regular reminders of safety. So it's all very well just to tell yourself, I'm not stressed, I'm not stressed, I'm good, there's nothing to fear. But if your body doesn't believe that and doesn't feel that, it isn't going to make a difference. That's why things like affirmations are great. Talk therapy, like counseling, psychology is great. This is all great. It helps us intellectualize things and, understand what we're going through. But your body doesn't understand words or language. So your nervous system is subcortical. So it sits below that thinking brain. So literally doesn't understand what the thinking brain is doing. So we need to find ways in order to make your body feel safe and supported to come into regulation. And regulation means that fight or flight response gets switched off and you are able to resume bodily functions as normal. Let's digest normally. Let's get a healthy menstrual cycle. Let's sleep, all the things. It doesn't ever mean that you're not going to be stressed and you're not going to be triggered. Please don't get that kind of mixed up that no, coming into regulation doesn't mean you're never going to respond to that. Yeah, this is a really hard journey and we are human. What it means is that you're going to be able to ride the waves of everything that you're going through, and you're going to be able to bring yourself back, excuse me, to a set point more easily so that when something does happen, it doesn't throw everything out the window again. We need to build up our toolkit. I love this idea of a toolkit, and we've seen already over the last few days these little tools that I've been giving you to throw into your toolkit. Breath work and connection to your body and just opening up this dialogue between you and your body. These are amazing somatic tools that we have to use. And of course, I am a yoga and a meditation teacher, so this is what I love. And I think the research is incredibly compelling, and I've seen what it does for people who have been struggling through infertility. So that's what I'm passionate about. But you've got to find what works for you. Maybe you decide yoga isn't your thing, and that's fine. No, it's not for everyone, but you've got to find something. And so much about the work I do is helping my students find, sure, yoga's great and meditation's great, but we need other little things throughout our day to help us along the way. Human connection is so overlooked when it comes to regulating our nervous systems. Humans were never designed to live in isolation. You know, Back when we were primal beings, being in human connection was crucial to our survival. If we weren't part of the clan, if we were left out in the wilderness, we wouldn't survive. And our nervous systems have not caught up with all of the modern day, well, yes, I have my own home and my own money, and that's great. Your nervous system doesn't care. It still needs people. So that's why, I say, no shade to there's value in so much stuff, right? But I see all these fertility AI platforms at the moment. I get contacted like weekly by these startups like, hey, we're starting this fertility AI resource where we just, we want to input all of, your knowledge, and people can then ask that. Look, and that's great. We have access to so much information. Great. But like, we're missing this piece of connection. And studies show it doesn't have to be that person next to you. Yes, that's incredibly valuable, and we want that in our lives, but we can be in a connection with others in any way, with voice, with video, just being in the energy of other people makes a massive difference. It's such a powerful regulating tool. So Let's get into today's practice. So, like I said, I'm going to teach you a little bit about your nervous system with these movements that we're going to do today. As previously in the last couple of days, you don't really need any props. I don't like to make these practices too fussy. However, we are going to do a couple of poses today where if you are tight in your hips, if you know that things like pigeon pose and just, general hip stretches are a little bit tricky for you, I recommend that you grab a pillow or a bolster, a yoga bolster if you have one, or a cushion, just to give you a bit more support. All right, so let's get into it. We are going to incorporate some beautiful meditations and some visualizations with our practice today as well. And let's begin. So come over to your mat, and I'll give you a few moments here just to get yourself comfortable and set up in your space. Mm. So if you want to sit on any props here initially, just to get yourself really, really comfortable, please do. So just arrive in your space. And just as we are starting this practicing, the sun is coming out, it's coming through the window. It's such beautiful divine timing. So we're going to take a few deep breaths. I just want you to relax your arms. Let's try to have our palms facing down if we can. Stretch out through the spine. Now take a full, big belly breath in. Biggest breath that you've taken so far today. And then just let it go. Exhale all the way out. Just let your shoulders start to drop. Soften your jaw. Let go through your belly. Heavy in the hips. Just breathe naturally now. As I hopefully was able to show you yesterday, your breath is the most powerful regulating tool that you have available to you. So, as I mentioned, that stress response is completely unconscious. You have no control about your fight or flight response. But what we can do is start to recognize when we have gone into that stress response. And of all of these autonomic bodily processes that our nervous system is responsible for, like digestion and keeping your heart beating and all the things that it does for us, the only thing you have control of is your breath. So, 99% of the day, your nervous system controls the rhythm of your breathing. And thank goodness it does, because if we had to remember to breathe all day, we wouldn't last very long. But it's the one overriding tool that you can use when you need it. That's where we're going to start. Now turn your palms up to face the ceiling. Come into chin mudra here. So touch the thumb and the index fingers together. And I want you to press enough pressure between the fingers here to hold a piece of paper. So it's not a huge pressure. And then the other fingers you can just relax. Really soften your belly here, but lengthen the spine a little bit without feeling stiff or rigid. Widen your chest. And this just starts to signal here to the universe that we are open to receiving. So I want you to bring to mind now what it is that you are ready to receive. And I want you to go big. Don't play small with this. You are ready to receive peace on your journey. You're ready to receive that power back, that connection to your body that is so unbelievably important. You are ready to receive your baby, to receive everything that you have dreamed of, the family that you dream of. You deserve everything that your heart desires. I want you to remind yourself of that. So we sometimes tell ourselves these stories, maybe this journey is the universe's way of telling me I'm not meant to be a parent. Well, this journey has been so hard. Maybe I don't deserve this. What have I done? Did I do something earlier in my life or a past life? Should I have been better? Should I have done this more perfectly? No. I want you to let go of all those stories. Just feel that energy between your fingers. And imagine you are holding all of those intentions here in your hands. Let's bring our hands together at prayer. And imagine now you're really drawing that intention into your heart center. So press your hands to your chest. Draw everything that you are calling into your life, into your heart, into your body. And let your whole body feel what it will be like to receive them. And take a full breath here. And then with your next inhale, let's stretch those arms high above us. So reaching up to the sky, reaching up to the ceiling. Really lengthen the body. Shrug your shoulders up to your ears. Wiggle up the fingers. Big breath in when you're ready. And then exhale, just let it all go. Roll out the shoulders. So I want to start with a practice here at the beginning today that is going to clear out these energy centers, these chakra centers along the body. So we're going to start from the crown and work down to the root. I'm going to use our breath. I'm going to use some movement as we do so. So just imagine your crown chakra sits right up here at the very top of the head. And I want you to close your eyes, relax your arms beside you, and just lengthen your spine. Just imagine that shining purple light drawing up away from the crown, up towards the sky. And then breathe into this space here and just notice if there's any tightness, any tension. Full big breath. Beautiful. Now bring your hands together at prayer, and I want you to rest your thumbs into the center of your forehead here, your third eye center. Breathing into this space here, and I want you to think about that deep indigo, bluey purple light just shining and expanding in all directions out from that third eye. Breathe into this space. Close your eyes, draw that awareness inwards. This is our space of intuition, of knowing, of inner guidance. Now release your hands. I'm going to move to the throat. So lift your chin, open out through the throat, the front of the neck. Maybe even jut your chin forward, feel that stretch. And then tuck your chin into your chest and round your head forward. So really stretch back of the neck. Keep the rest of the spine nice and stretched. Inhale, lift your chin. Exhale, lower. So you want to feel that shining deep blue coming from the throat chakra here. This is an area where if we're feeling a little blocked, it's a sign that we haven't felt comfortable to use our voice or speak our truth. Let the head now drop side to side a little bit. It comes along with a lot of neck tension, throat chakra issues, thyroid issues. And then just roll your head a little bit side to side, just really allowing that ease to come into the neck. Beautiful. Now let's come back to center and bring your hands together in front of you, interlace fingers. Now flip your palms forward, round your spine, and draw your ribs back. And I want you to stretch out between the back of the ribs, the back of the heart space here. And we're going to focus on that deep shining green light from the center of the heart. And then shift from side to side. So working around the sides and the backs of the heart center. We tend to think about our energy centers as like we're looking forward. So they sit kind of front facing on the body, but really these energy centers, they can feel tension from all angles. So it's important that we allow space from all sides of the body when we are releasing energy and tension. Now take your hands behind you, interlace your fingers again, and then pull your arms away from your body and lift up your chest. Just open out the front of the ribs here, shine your heart forward. The heart is the space of self-love, self-compassion, kindness. Full breath and release. And give those shoulders a little roll. Now we're going to move a little lower to the solar plexus, which is this down here at the base of the sternum, a little bit sort of at the top of the abdomen, around here. So we're going to start again with the sides. So lift one arm to the ceiling and lean over to the side. And I want you to think about the bottom two ribs just lifting and expanding out here. Feeling that yellow light gliding and gleaming away from your body. Come up as you inhale. Exhale over to the other side and think again. Bottom two ribs. Open them, release them. Coming back up. Now take your hands behind you onto the mat. Let them rest and then press your chest and your ribs forward and up. And just really shine through that upper belly. Imagine that glowing golden yellow light drawing away. The solar plexus is the center of power, strength, inner strength within us. Now release. We're going to move to the sacral chakra here. So place your hands on your low belly. And I want you to imagine this beautiful glowing orange light sparkling and illuminating deep into the womb space here. Now bring your hands to your knees and we're going to take our seated hip circles. So roll back away from your legs. As you inhale, just lean over to one side, circle the body forward, and then exhale, circle back around the other way. Just keep those going in your own time. And just starting to feel within your body, so really tune inwards here. Where you notice tension might be sitting around these lower centers here. And that sacral center is such a powerful one. I mean, for obvious reasons while we're trying to conceive, but it is our space of creation, and not just creating our family and our baby, but creating the life that you want. Using our creative endeavors can be such a hard thing to come back to when we are in times of prolonged and chronic stress, but I really encourage you to come back to what it is in life that makes you feel joyful, feels like you are awakening this area. And then rolling around the other way. Big inhale. Think about what else you could be creating in your life. There is something really simple like a beautiful playlist. If you love music, maybe you even write music. I wish I could. Maybe it is creating art, sewing, or planning your dream holiday, just creating that itinerary for yourself, just anything that gets that creative flow going. So important. Good. Now, once you've evened out those circles, just slowly come back to center. And now we're going to place the fingers onto the floor beside us, either fingers or palms, whatever you feel comfortable with. And now I want your whole body just to drop and get super heavy. So we're going to sit down into the root chakra here, which is the very, very base of the spine. And just imagine that gorgeous glowing red. Now stay grounded, stay heavy through the physical body, but just feel the spine lengthen. I want you to breathe down into your hips, breathe down into that root center. Our root chakra is so important for helping us to feel safe, supported, and connected on this journey. And that's where so many of these practices come in. So now that we've gone through and cleared out each of those areas, and they may not be completely cleared, this is a practice, as everything, But now we're going to stay as we are and just flip the palms to the ceiling. Imagine there is a ball of glowing golden white light, golden or white, whatever resonates for you at the very base of the spine. Now, with your inhale, we lift the arms up above us and feel that light lifting up along the spine. Go through each of those chakra centers and then let that light just travel up above the crown of the head, reaching high. Now, as you exhale, bring that light back down through the head, through the spine, all the way back down to the hips, to the base, to the root. Inhale, lift the light, lift the arms. Exhale, let it all go. Beautiful. We're going to take a couple more. I just want you to feel if there's any shifts, maybe a little more energy has been cleared. You feel lighter, you feel more open to receiving. Last one. And then release. Beautiful work, everyone. Open your eyes, roll out your shoulders. Ah, let's get into it from here. So if you're sitting on any props, just pop them off to the side. We are going to make our way over to tabletop. So just come onto all fours here. And we're going to start off just by placing hands under shoulders, knees underneath our hips. And let's just begin with a rock of the hips from side to side. A really nice one just to start getting in tune with any tightness in the hips and the pelvis that you're holding on to today. So let's just breathe naturally, slowly. And as you've evened out here, let's come back to center and starting to move into your cat-cow. So dropping belly to the mat first. Lift up your chest, your chin. And then exhale round the spine. Press down into the hands. Tuck the chin to the chest. And then continue in your own time. And just keep those going nice and slowly. Getting as much movement into your back as you can in both directions. If possible, close the eyes here and see if you can coordinate the movements exactly in time with your breath. Now, your nervous system absolutely loves movement and breath together. It is one of the most regulating tools that we have. So seeing if we can round up with each exhale, lengthen, lift forward with each inhale. Let's make this our last one. Beautiful. Now come back to center and we're just going to expand this pose a little more. Walk your hands slightly further forwards. Now tuck under back into that big round back position, but then start to sit back towards your heels like you're almost about to sit in child's pose. And then as you inhale, we're going to roll the body forwards. Let the hips drop a little bit towards the mat and lift up, opening the front of the body, lift the chin. We exhale, round the spine. Shift those hips back towards the heels. You can sit right back if you wish. And then come forwards. Inhale, unfold. Lift the head. So keep those going. And you can move your hands, move your knees if you need to. I want you just to start to listen to your body a little bit more here and kind of notice where you're holding on to tension. Can you use your breath just to move into these areas a little bit more deeply? Last one here, we're going to meet all the way back in child's pose and soften down. You can take your knees a little wider if you wish. See if you can let your forehead drop to the mat. You can play around with wiggling your hips from side to side. And then just coming back into that place of stillness. Full belly breath in. And then slow exhale all the way out. Remember that breath is your gateway to regulation. That like golden ticket that we have whenever we need it. And those long, slow exhales will get you there the quickest. Beautiful. Now, if you are menstruating today and your bleed is on that heavier side, just stay as you are. Or if you're enjoying this rest, by all means, just continue and hold here. Otherwise, we're going to come up to down dog. So inhale, lift to all fours, tuck your toes. Exhale, press back downward facing dog. Now, first down dog of our practice can often feel a little stiff or a little tight, so let's ease into it gently. You can walk out the feet. Sit. Let's try to stretch out the fingers, soften the elbows, the neck, let the head hang. So we're not lifting the head forward, just let it drop, let it all go. The belly is soft. Make sure we're not clenching or holding any tightness in the abdomen. Beautiful. And then just drop both heels to the mat if you're in down dog. If you can, see if you can stretch out your legs. Think about shifting the chest a little closer to your knees. If you can, again, without forcing it here. Beautiful. Take one more full breath. And then exhale, either lower down to tabletop or come back up and out of child's pose. Look at your hands. We're going to lift our knees up off the mat and just start to walk forward to the top of your mat here. So take your time, come up onto fingertips as you need. And then ending up here with our feet hip distance apart, nice and flat. Bend those knees and just drop your head forward a little deeper. Make sure you've got a nice big generous bend of the legs here. We don't want to be pulling any tension onto the lower back. You can grab opposite elbows and take a little ragdoll stretch if you wish. Keep dropping crown of the head down to the mat. Good, nice big breath. Find your center, hands down. Now exhale, rise all the way up to standing. Please take your time. Roll back your shoulders as you get to the top. Expand that chest and release. Beautiful. So we're going to come into a really gentle somatic practice here, which is often referred to as tension release or trauma release, and it's a very gentle shaking exercise. So I'll explain why we're going to do it as we go. This is safe no matter where you are in your cycle or if you're undergoing treatments at the moment, but we are going to take it gently, okay? So I want you to start with the feet and just start to wiggle the toes, wiggle those toes, lift them, spread them, maybe rock back and forth on the feet a few times here. And then start to walk out those legs. So kind of just very gently shaking out the knees, shaking out the hips. Now there's no rules with this. Okay, it's not like you have to look perfect or do anything a certain way. I just want you to create movement. It's going to be quite intuitive. And then just get your hips a little bit involved as well, kind of like shaking out those hips very gently. So often in times of acute stress, this idea of, slowing down and meditating and finding a sense of calm, sure that it would be great, but it is actually not what your body needs. Start to shake out your hands and arms a little bit here as well. Again, keep it nice and gentle. So imagine if you were being chased by a pack of lions. If you said, you know what, I'm going to sit down and meditate right now. That's what I'm going to do to relieve this stress response. Your brain would be, no, you will die. Run for your life, you absolute idiot. So when our brains are triggered and we go into fight or flight, and you can probably feel it, when you're waiting for that phone call or just it's a horrible feeling, right? You feel so agitated and you can't sit still, you can't concentrate. Give your head a little bit of a shake out here as well. Coming into stillness is not what your body needs. So we've got to meet our nervous systems where they're at. And things like this can be really helpful. Let's just try a very gentle bounce on the knees now. Bounce your shoulders up and down a few times. Don't worry about what you look like. If there's anyone in your house that's sort of laughing at you right now, I give you permission to laugh back at them. They're not regulating their nervous systems. So we need to sometimes have tools to help us in that acute response. So shaking is wonderful, going for brisk walks, that sort of thing, screaming, punching a pillow, all these things are really helpful. Then once we've kind of allowed that stress response to move through the body a bit more, then we can come back to a place of stillness. So let's do that now, only when you feel ready. And if you notice your body still wants to sway a little bit, let it. If there's still a bit more energy there that needs to go, close your eyes if you can, if that feels safe. And just notice, how does your body feel? Do you feel like tingling or energy moving? Maybe you feel like your heart rate has started to lift a little bit, and that's all fine. I just want you to notice, become aware. And now we're going to bring that sense of calm and peace back once again. So we're going to slow down the breath. Take a full inhale and lift your arms high above you. And then full exhale, sigh out your exhale and round forward. Come into that forward fold. Remember, our forward folds are so calming for our nervous systems. Let's take a big breath in. Exhale, start to slowly, slowly lift up. I'm going to take 2 more like that. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, fold. Just let it all go. Drop the head. Big breath in. Exhale. Let's slowly lift up. And we'll do that one more time. Full inhale. And full exhale. And then slowly, slowly lift back up. Beautiful. Now, as we come back to standing, I'm going to take the right foot and cross it behind the left one. Now, as you cross the feet back, I don't mind if the feet are like really close together or you've got one forward. Again, you're going to find what works for your balance. Maybe you can straighten both legs, maybe not. Maybe this front knee needs to stay a little bit soft. Don't worry too much. We're going to stretch the arms up above us. You're going to grab your right hand or wrist, lift that arm high, and then pull the body over to the opposite side. So I'll just show you from the front. So your right leg is behind you and your right arm is pulling away from that back leg. And this is quite a neural stretch. So when we come into neural stretches, we're physically stretching the nervous system. We're bringing tone to the vagus nerve, which is responsible for pretty much every bodily function that we have. Now keep the feet as they are, lift up, separate your hands, and then fold forward down to the mat. And again, bend the knees if you need to. See if you can rest your fingers on the floor. If not, just fold and relax forward. Play around with straightening out the legs a little bit more. It's going to feel quite intense in the back of the legs, this one. And again, this is a deep neural stretch. Forward folds are so calming for our nervous systems. We naturally flex our spine very slightly with every exhale. And when we can really lengthen out that exhale at the same time, just signals to our brains we are safe. There's nothing we need to fear. Good. Now bend your knees. Slowly bring yourself to standing. Let's uncross the feet. We're going to do the other side. So take that left foot behind. Good. Adjust however you feel comfortable. Stretch legs, bent legs, whatever works. Reach the arms high. Grab left hand or wrist. And then just pull the arms over to the right side. And just stay there. Try not to lean forwards or backwards here. Just be straight across. Leaning the hip, feeling that beautiful stretch coming right into the side body that helps to open out the liver meridian here, gets lots and lots of blood flowing, energy moving. Good. Lift up as you inhale and exhale, release forward. That forward fold is also going to stimulate the kidney meridian. Again, a wonderful way to start getting energy, blood flow through the body. Good. Try to stretch out the legs a little more if you want to. Don't force it, but again, just play around with it. Good. One more breath in. And then exhale. Let's come slowly back up. And separate those feet. Give everything a little gentle shake out. Amazing work. So we're going to reach those arms up one more time. We're coming back down to the mat. So forward fold all the way back down. Now take your right leg, step it back behind you. Really, really big step back. And then allow your knee to come down onto the floor. Relax the back toes. Now, if you find that the knee needs a bit more support here, just pad that knee, fold the mat over or pop a little pillow under it. We're going to walk our hands over to that right side. So here we can hopefully drop a little bit deeper into our hips. And at the same time here, allow the belly to soften. So you just let your arms take the weight. Roll back your shoulders, lift up your chest. You might want to wiggle your hips a little bit and just start to Notice how much tension have you been holding in your hip. Maybe you didn't even notice the psoas muscle, which is your biggest hip flexor that pulls your knees upwards towards you. The psoas has been found to hold so much physical tension in times of stress, like acute and chronic stress. And one of the things a lot of yoga teachers talk about, and I think is so fascinating, is that when we do hip openers, I'm going to do pigeon in a moment, which is a very intense one for a lot of us. When we release that physical tension, we can release a lot of emotion at the same time. Because when we are chronically stressed, every time we go into fight or flight, every time our hips tense up, it's like your body holds on to that memory of what you've been going through. So when we unwind and release, so much can come up. All right, we're going to step back to all fours from here and just rock your hips a little bit side to side here. Unwind, release. Beautiful. Now we are going to come down onto our belly really gently, just come all the way down. And once you're relaxed down onto your front, we're going to take our right hand and reach back for our right foot. You can let your head rest on the other arm, whatever's comfy. Now think about drawing your heel into the back of the hip. Now you might not be able to pull the heel in, doesn't matter. If you can and it doesn't feel like you're getting much of a stretch, think about tucking your tailbone under a bit. Just tuck your butt under. Try not to tense your belly though. It doesn't need to be a deep stretch anyway. We're just going to use our breath and our body weight to open the front of that right hip and thigh. And just breathe into it very, very gently here. And one more full breath. Let that leg release. And then just allow both arms to rest down. Let your head relax. And very, very gently, I want you to give your legs a little rock or a little shake from side to side. You can wobble your hips. So we did this in our day one practice here. And so I was talking about, rocking motions are so soothing and calming for our nervous systems. It's something that we never intrinsically forget from being little babies. Being held, being rocked, being supported, incredibly calming. Beautiful. Now let's come back to center. Place your hands beside your chest. And as you inhale, lift up into a mini cobra. So just lift that upper back, squeeze your elbows together, and then exhale, fold and relax down. And two more. In our mini cobra, shine your heart forward and release. Let's do one more. If you feel comfortable, let's come all the way up. And then exhale, come back to child's pose. Stretch out the spine. With your next inhale, lift back up to all fours. And center yourself. Exhale, hold. Now, right leg, inhale, stretch it out behind you. And as you exhale, we bring that right knee forward as we come into pigeon pose now. So bring that knee forward between your hands. Slide that back leg away from you. Now, pigeon pose in traditional yogi practices, we find that it was taught with the shin parallel to the top of the mat. Now, that is quite an intense pose for most of us. If it feels good for you, go for it. But I would like you to make this a little bit more restorative, so a little bit more relaxing. It's like pigeon is not a super relaxing pose, but we'll do what we can. So you can bring your foot a little bit closer towards your pelvis if you want. Now, this is one of those poses where if you are super tight in your hips, putting a cushion or like a little pillow under your right hip, your right butt cheek here is going to give you a bit of support. So you can do that if you wish. Now, up in pigeon, pause for a moment, please. If you're going through any fertility treatments at the moment, any stim cycles, or just anything where your ovaries are being stimulated, I just want you to stay upright. You aren't going to do any damage to yourself or anything dangerous, but it can be really uncomfortable to fold into this one if you do. So if you are going through treatments, stay up, or if this is enough for you. But otherwise, let's see if we can fold forward a little bit. Maybe even resting your head down onto your arms or the mat. You might want to stretch your arms forward, let it all go. I just want you to find what works for you. Draw your shoulders away from your ears and just breathe. And with every exhale here, I want this to be an invitation for you to let go. Where are you holding tension? You don't even know. Scan through your body. Are you holding tightness in your neck here? Your shoulders lifting. I promise you, you don't need to tense your shoulders when you release the hips. Can we let go a little bit more through the belly, the pelvic floor? Just let everything go. Slow down your exhale. We're here for about 4 or 5 more deep breaths. Notice where your mind wants to take you. This is not comfortable. Can we get up already? I want to move. Just keep coming back to your breath. Now, this last breath here, I want you to please take your time. We're going to make our way back to all fours. Now, once you're up at all fours, just give your hips a little rock from side to side, little counter pose here. Now, once again, if you are menstruating today or you want a little more rest, sit back, please take child's pose. Otherwise, we can take one more downward facing dog here. So curl the toes under, lift the hips. And just stretch out the back of the body. Notice how you're feeling. Is there any tension that you're holding on to? If you're in your down dog, you could pedal out the legs a few more times if you need. Otherwise, just finding that place of stillness. Really relax the head. Now with your next inhale, let's meet back at all fours. And then look towards your hands and let's walk those feet forward once again here. So coming back into that standing forward fold, round the body down, full breath in. Exhale, slowly rise up to standing. And returning here to mountain pose. Roll back shoulders, lengthen the spine. Big inhale, sweep the arms high. Lift up your chest. See if you can take a little back bend here. Open the heart center, lift the chin. On your next exhale, hands to heart, bow forwards, come all the way down, fold. Now left leg, big step back behind you. Big, big step. You can lower your knee down onto the mat. Relax the foot. Pad the knee if you need to. Walk your hands over to that left side. You might want to move your foot over to the right side. And just start to kind of wiggle the hips into position. And just take a moment to really unwind anywhere that feels a little tight or a little stiff. Give you plenty of time here to unwind your hips. Roll back your shoulders, lift your chest a little more if you can. But remember, please keep that softness in the belly. Beautiful. Drop a little deeper. Last breath here. All right, now let's just start to shift back slowly, slowly to all fours. Good. Rock out those hips a little bit. Hopefully everything's just starting to feel a little more open, a little more free. Let's come forward down onto the belly. Good. Take your time. Softly bring yourself down. Now grab that left foot, left ankle. Draw the heel to the hip and just take your time here to stretch. And as you're stretching that leg, just imagine that your belly balloons and expands to the floor with your inhale. And whole body gets a bit heavier with the exhale. And just let it all go, inviting in as much softness to your pose as you can. Beautiful. Now release the leg. Stay as you are. I'm going to do that gentle hip rock one more time. So just wobble the legs, wobble the hips like jelly. Be as lazy as you can. Breathe deeply. Good. And then let's center the legs. Bring the hands side by side, the chest, elbows tucked in. And then mini cobra. Big inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, release down. Good. Two more. Inhale. Exhale, one more. Now, if you feel comfortable, you can lift up full cobra if you wish. Big stretch out the abdomen, the hips, lift the chin. And then exhale, let's roll back into child's pose. All the way down. Take a full breath here, all the way in, all the way out. Inhale, lift up to all fours. Exhale, lengthen back out to a straight spine. Now, left leg reaches behind you. Big breath in. And then exhale, dive that knee through the hands and just land it on the mat. So we transition to pigeon here on the other side. So if you want to use that pillow or anything else, go for it. So I think with pigeon, the thing we always tend to notice straight away is one side feels really different to the other, which is just super normal. Don't worry. Again, all these poses are giving us these like little breadcrumbs, these little opportunities to bring awareness into our own bodies. So it's an opportunity for you to find connection, to see what your body is trying to say. Now, again, if you are going through any stimulator treatments right now, please stay upright. Otherwise, if you want to go folding forward, you can. Rest your head, rest your arms, anything you like. So I know that it's hard to do in this pose, but I want you to let go as much as you can. The head is soft, shoulders are down. And just keep coming back to that exhale. Just taking this moment of care for your body to remind your body that you are in this together. That your body is trying so hard for you. And that's usually the last thing on our to-do list, isn't it? Look after ourselves. So that is why we are here. And stay here for two more big breaths. Now we are going to meet back in child's pose. Just take your time here. Coming down as you feel ready. Whichever variation of the pose feels good for you. Breathe deeply. Let it all go. Right, so let's start to walk ourselves up to sitting. Close your eyes if you can. Just keep drawing all that attention inwards. Sit comfortably. You don't have to be kneeling. Let's place both hands over the lower belly and remind yourself of your intention at the start of your practice today. So, what was it that you are ready to call into your life? Now that you're in more of a place of regulation, it is so much easier for our bodies, our brains to receive. So we cannot listen to our intuition and we cannot manifest what we want in our lives from that place of dysregulation. Let's take one more big breath here. Right. Now, as you open your eyes, we are going to lie down on our back and we're going to finish today. I've got one more little pose for us to do, and then we're going to finish with one of my favorite guided meditations. So come down, get comfy on your back. If you want to use your pillow, support your head, go for it. Just give your knees a little hug to your chest here for a moment. Rock side to side. Relax any tension in your low back. Right. And then just place your feet onto the mat as wide as your mat. Open your arms back, fold them into a cactus pose, so palms to ceiling, elbows, back of the hands resting down. And then just take a little supine twist. So roll your legs to one side, turn your head, look to the other side, and then take it across. And again, this is an absolutely safe twist no matter where you are in your cycle. If you're in your 2-week wait or if you're undergoing fertility treatments, just a reminder, this is absolutely safe. An open twist is very gentle. You can't, it's actually impossible to go through your life without rotating your spine. So when I have students come to me like, oh, my fertility doctor said I can't twist. I'm like, okay, how do you grab toilet paper? How do you reverse park your car? How do you pull something out of the dishwasher? Like, you have to rotate your spine. But we want to do it safely. So know that all these practices totally safe. So we are going to get super comfortable. So I invite you to come into Shavasana. So if you want to relax your legs out long, you can. Just let your toes turn out. Make any adjustments here that you need so that you are completely comfortable. Beautiful. Now stay as you are. Stay lying down on your back. I'm just going to sit up because it helps me hold the space for you a little bit more easily. So we're going to place one hand on the lower belly and one hand on the heart center. It doesn't matter which hand is which. We're going to start to bring all of our awareness down into the womb space here. And just noticing now, deep within your womb, there is a little ball of golden, glowing light. This beautiful, shining light that just starts to expand a little bit. So the light starts to beam outwards, starting to now shine through the whole of your womb, through your fallopian tubes, to your ovaries, down the cervix. The whole pelvis is now just bathed in this shining, golden, warm, healing light. Now, with your next breath in, draw that light up to your heart center and just let that light shine forwards out of your chest. With your exhale, allow that light to travel back down to your womb. Continue like this. Inhale, the light travels to your heart. Exhale, the light travels back to the womb. And just keep that going in your own time. This is our heart-womb connection breath. In Chinese medicine, they call this connection the Bao Mai. It is an unbreakable and intrinsic connection between you and your baby. Without your heart, there is no life. And without your womb, there's no life for your baby. So these areas are going to be forever connected. All of the feelings of love, excitement, gratitude that you have towards your baby, I want you to feel all of that. But then as you bring the light to your heart, I want you to send those same feelings of love and gratitude for yourself as well. And just take a couple more breaths, just like this. And then let that light just settle back into the womb. And you can either place both hands over the lower belly, or you can just relax your hands to the sides, whatever feels most peaceful for you. And to just spend the last few moments here of our practice, knowing there is nowhere else you need to be. There's nothing else you need to do. Enjoy this place of calm. Now in your own time here, you can start to wiggle the fingers, the toes. Maybe you want to stretch out your arms, stretch out your legs. Just take a full big belly breath in and out. Now when you're ready, roll over slowly onto your side, and I will invite you to come and meet me back in a comfortable seat on your mat, just as we started. Now, once we are back to sitting on the mat, bring your hands together at prayer. Draw them back to your heart center here. And we are going to close today with a mantra that helped me enormously through my journey. So I'm going to offer it to you. See if it resonates. So when you're ready, take a full breath in, and you can repeat softly after me with your exhale. I trust my body. Take another breath in. I trust my baby. One more breath. And I trust the universe. Bring your hands to the center of your forehead. Resting the thumbs right in at that third eye center. Come into that place of knowing, of inner guidance. And I want you to remind yourself how capable you are, how capable your body is, and that everything you desire is on its way. Allow your head to bow forwards. Namaste. I want to thank you for taking this time this week over the last 3 days to share these practices with me, for allowing me to teach you so many of the things that I've learned along the way, so many of the things I'd wish I had been taught when I was younger. And it's a real gift. You know, anytime that you give yourself space and time to expand your knowledge and help your body, you are giving yourself such a huge gift. And that is the ultimate sense of self-care. So please acknowledge that and really like sit in that moment of gratitude for yourself, because it is not a small thing. And I also realize that your fertility journey is an incredibly personal and very deeply intimate journey that you're going through. And I don't take it lightly that you have invited me in to share that with you. So thank you. Thank you. So I want to give you the weekend, the next few days, to go back and immerse yourself in these practices. You can listen to the little intros if you want to learn a little bit more again about your body and your cycle and your nervous system. And it's all there for you. And I just really want you to take your time. And on Monday, I would like to formally invite you to come and join me inside my fertility yoga program. And as I mentioned previously, this is, gosh, the accumulation of so many years of work. I have been supporting women on their journeys to motherhood and beyond now for such a long time. And it is just the ultimate blend of the science, the spiritual, all of the energy, the human connection, the expert advice from all these doctors and amazing experts that we bring in. And it is a way to truly change your journey and your life. And I would love for you to join me. A reminder that it is a $39 a month program. After someone asked me yesterday, I just wanted to clarify, it's a $39 a month, but there are no lock-in contracts, there are no cancellation fees. So it's something you can come in, try and see how you like the practices and see how it works for you. And as part of that program, you know, we really do get very personal. I write personal programs for all of my students. We have a fertility nurse and a nutritionist on staff. So you have the opportunity to ask all your questions directly to them. And we bring in experts. We've got spirit baby workshops. We've got energy healers, all the science, all the woo-woo. It's just the ultimate blend of everything that you could possibly need on your journey. And I can't wait to share it with you. It makes me so excited to be able to open it up. And I only do it a couple of times a year because I really like just to bring in a group at the same time. And, you know, it's always, it's a little bit daunting when you try something new. And I really want to nurture those people at the same pace. And then the students that are within the program are there to hold that space for you once you join. So come and experience it for yourself. I would absolutely love to meet you and get to know you on a deeper level. So that is everything from me. I'm going to open it up for Q&A. If you're here with me live and you want to ask any more questions, please know that I've got plenty of time to chat to you. But if you're watching this back on the replay, if you have questions, you can email me, you can DM me. I am always here. I read each and every one of your messages. And once again, thank you.